Hey guys, so I'm gonna be making some baby shoes cake topper this time. It's Converse style. So here's the pattern. Um, I'll leave a link below of the pieces and the amounts. So for this project, honestly, the most important part is that you guys get a good pattern. Okay, it's really straightforward. You just have to cut out the little pieces. As you see, I'm cutting the soles now. Um, um, so it's really just following the amount of pieces that you have to cut out. The thickness of each of the little pieces is approximately 2-3 millimeters, depending really on the kind of paste that you're using. I'm using Sarosino modeling paste, which is an Italian. It's stiffer than fondant. It's an Italian brand, and it's really good for figure making and for toppers because it's very steady. Um, it's kind of harder than fondant. It dries nicely, and then you can really rework on it afterwards even. So it's really good. Now you see I'm cutting the front part of the shoe. So you're gonna need for these two pieces of the soles, two pieces of the fronts, and then the sides, which I'll show you in just a second. You're gonna need four because it's two for each of the shoes. Okay, but as I said, the most important part of this project is honestly get a good pattern. I'll leave as I said, a link maybe or to yeah, I guess a link to any patterns I see. But it really depends on the style you want to make. For this one specifically, I had to repeat it a few times because the pattern I did was just I eyeballed it and drew it by myself, so I had to do it two times. Okay, which is perfectly fine, but depending on if you're in a rush, you can really save a lot of time on this one. So you see now I'm cutting out the side pieces. The colors you choose really depend on on you. This is totally free. Um, I'm making these for a baby shower for a boy, so I made the sides blue and then the front and the soles in white. Okay, but as I said, you can do any color you want. Okay, so for the little front pieces, you're gonna paste them to the sole like you see here. Um, as you can see, I am having to kind of adapt it because the pattern wasn't perfect. And I'm gluing them just with water. Okay, I don't usually use any. Usually, actually, never. I've never used edible glue for any of my projects. I find that water and just the sugar base of the paste is just fine for this. So the good thing with this paste that I was mentioning is, you see, I don't really need to use anything to hold the shape. There's people who use parchment paper or even maybe some tissue paper, but I've hadn't had to use any since I'm using this paste because it's really good, hold shape very nicely. Unless it's a really humid day, like I had a few days ago, then maybe you would want to, but it wasn't the case this time. So I'm just doing exactly the same thing as I did with the first shoe, and just pasting the what's going to be the front of the shoe, um, and just let it dry a bit. Let it just sit until it kind of hardens a bit, so that it once you have to paste all of the other pieces with the weight, it won't fall over. So now, while that dries out, you're gonna want to put the stitch lines. I'm using this kind of rolling. It's kind of like a wheel tool, but you could probably do it just with maybe with a toothpick, a fine toothpick, and then place the holes where you want. Um, Again, on this one, you can see where I'm making the little holes where you're going to put the shoelaces afterwards. Uh, but again, because of really improvising, which is sometimes works out, sometimes doesn't work out so well. But anyway, I did want to show you guys how sometimes you just have to work as you go and improvise and just fix stuff. So right now you can see where I'm making the holes, but at the end you'll see where I have to actually add some more and recut the shape a bit to make it um, kind of with a better finish, if you may. Okay. Um, that's why I insist so much on the fact that you guys get a good pattern and just avoid drawing it out unless you're 100% sure of what you're doing. So I skipped the part where I made the first shoe because at the end it's exactly the same ones. I just wanted to show you what one of them looks like, and then here I'm showing you how to finish it up. So once the sole and the front part have dried out, you can just with a bit of water and a brush just on the sides. There you see where I'm, as I mentioned, kind of adapting the pattern and cutting out a piece to round it out a bit and adding some more holes, just because I found that I wasn't going to be able to put the shoelaces correctly. So you see I just round the sides a bit and I add some more the stitch line and some more holes. At the end it doesn't look so bad, I guess. I'm pretty happy with the result considering the complications. But yeah, you can completely avoid this and make it as easy as it is. Okay. So then you just paste the sides and the back like so, and paste also stick it to the front of the shoe where the I don't know the word for that. It's like little tongue, right? You have to paste it there. And then it has like a little ring at the back, and you can see it's just a little rectangle, and it's typical of the Converse style shoes. And then this is the only one part I do not have as a pattern. I don't think it's because I just basically didn't need it. But it's just a long strip of that is going to be all around the sole of the shoe. So it's just a really long rectangle. That's why I didn't make a pattern. It's always good to have the exact measurement, but you can eyeball it. I was in a bit of a rush with this one. So I just, as I said, I just went as I worked. And this is going to be all around the bottom. Okay. So just with a bit of water, with a thin brush, you place it all across and just stick it at the back, like so. And then you're going to want to just roll out some thin snakes that are going to be the shoelaces. So for the Converse shoes, they usually have these flat shoelaces, which you can do. I don't know if in my case, this is just personal. I prefer to make them round. I thought they looked like more, I don't know, I think they look cuter and more innocent. I don't know how the word, like for a baby, I think the round ones are kind of, no, I don't know. It's just me, huh? Anyway, you can do however you want. I prefer to leave them round shape, not flatten them out. And so you just roll out your snakes and then cut them out like so. I always like to cut, like when I have to make these long snakes, I'd rather cut like in little pieces rather than just roll the whole piece of huge fondant. It's just easier to work with. So there I'm just putting a bit of water on the holes and then just sticking in the shoelaces. Here you are going to want to use one of these really basic modeling tools. Um, this is just, it's like a pen, like a plastic pen. It's super cheap. You can get it on, I got these on Amazon, and one of these, I think it was just like even craft, like really cheap craft toolkits. And to be honest, I don't use, I commented on the previous video, I don't use very fancy modeling tools, honestly. I did buy a pack. It included like 10 different modeling tools, and I ended up using 2 of them, and the rest I just never ever used them. So that really depends on you, but I think you can do a lot of stuff with very basic stuff. So you just want to put the 3, I'm putting 3 because I think that's like the typical for the baby shoes, like putting 3 shoelaces. And you can finish it up with a bow, or like tying the knot of the shoelaces, or just leave them open. I decided to leave them like that. I think it looks kind of cute, and it's also less work. And you get a good result anyway. So sometimes you just have to be practical. And yeah. So then you just roll out your little snakes. And then, yeah, and then you just stick them in there. But as you can see, it's I think it's a very easy project, this one. As long as you have good base. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with sewing clothes, but it's just the same. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope it's useful. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Sweet Little Deli. Bye.